you for joining me. My name is Stefen Choy, and this is Trading with Livevol. So basically what it is I trade my own real Reg T account using LVX, and you guys can see what I do. So I actually have a lot to cover today, so I'll kind of start with my account real quick. As you can see, I'm not having that good of a month. This is today, so a few $100 here and there, pretty much flat, and maybe I'll try to talk about Apple right now. So as you guys know, I have been bullish on Apple for a while, and I have just a bunch of call spreads and calls. Today I did another call spread, the May 520, 530 calls, 540 call spread, and I think I did it for looks like 1185. So I was I was kind of trying to put it in for maybe like 1150 maybe, but I put it in. Let's see where they're trading now. Let's say if I bought the April 520s and sold the 540s, looks like the fair value is around 1170. So you can punch it up. And the reason I did that was because the order flow is it's been pretty much the same the whole time. But I was looking at the charts. And if you look at the tick chart here, if you look at the 5 days, 5 days tick chart, basically you can see that it started up in the beginning of the day, sold off, was up beginning of the day, March 27th, sold off. So basically it ends high and then sells off again. So we'll see if that happens with Apple again. I think it'll be important to see if this is going to go down here in the 536 range or finish on the high. I think if it finishes up on the highs, there might be some room for it to go up. So I am playing that in terms of what I think is going to happen. Also Google. So I see I was looking at Google. The order flow is, just only very slightly bullish. But I was looking at all these trades. I saw on CNBC people talking about it. I know they got some positive press this morning. But if you look at the weekly chart on Google, and this is the weekly chart, you can see that it's this is the 20-week moving average. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. It might have a little support. So it had support here back in January, end of January, and now again here at end of March. So I'm kind of thinking the 1120 range is support. So my thinking is, and I have these orders out, but it's not filled yet. And it's these Google spreads, the 1120, 1140. So I'm trying to get them for $10. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get them. But that's what I'm working towards, right? So let me see if I actually saved one of these spreads. Nope. So let me actually go down to a strike. You see this? So if I were to do the spread right here, you see how it's 7-bit at 14. It's pretty wide. The midpoint is 1065. So I just put a $10 bid here and hope that I get filled. And the reason I did that is the 1120, 1140 call spread. If Google ends at 1130, which is kind of where it's at now, I should, since I bought it for $10. That's my break-even point. Is 11.30. If Google goes up to 11.40, then I should make 50%. So I'm kind of like limiting, since I don't have. Normally I would just get long, but since my account can't just buy all these naked, I have to design it in a manner that works. So I'm thinking there's going to be a little bit upside. So I'm doing the 11.20, 11.40 call spread, and then my break even is 11.30. So it's a very tight spread. I'm just looking for, basically what I'm looking for is for Google to just be around here, a little bit higher down the road, right? So I'm not, I'm looking for it to go a little bit higher, and the reason I did that mostly is because the order flow was only slightly, so it wasn't really my biggest reasoning. But you see how the vol is rising a little bit. So just buying naked calls, probably because a lot of people might be doing that right now, wasn't the best choice. So maybe selling some vol on here, selling some upside calls to offset the volatility is the way to go. Now let me actually talk about a couple of stocks that I saw. So this morning, so the way I see these things is through this. Let me actually pull it up. So as you guys know, I like to pull up this one. This is the watch list trades, and I configure it so I see every trade that's 1,000 or more. So and one other thing is it doesn't actually show as you turn on this software, it shows all the quantities of thousands or more. So when I log off on my other computer and come here, basically I lose the saved list and it starts new. But on this list was where I found most of these stocks. So let me go to Symantec. If you look at the stats, you'll see all these heavy call buying in Symantec. You see this May 22 calls, July 24 calls, May 22 calls, 24,000 calls to 1,000 put, and they've been pretty bullish. See how 11,000 of these calls out of the 24,000 are out of the money options, 5% out of the money options that was traded on the offer. So after a little bit of digging, basically I found out that maybe this might be an activist takeover kind of stock where they might try to sell it for acquisition or try to break it up. But obviously the company itself is not doing the best that it can, and maybe selling it to a competitor or breaking up the company might yield a better outcome than this $20. And you can see that people have been buying these calls this morning. So this April, 20 calls, see if I click on it, you'll see it right here. And then these right here, the May 1722 calls, and looks like they're still buying. So I'm almost tempted to maybe buy some of these for 29 cents. Kind of the same as these guys. The vol looks like it's kind of in the middle, maybe in the slightly lower range, but pretty much like right in the middle. So it's not cheap, but it was interesting. I think it's worth keeping an eye on. I did see another stock, Masco. So you see Masco, the April 23rd, you see that 6,000 of these traded, right? You see all these calls traded. Now, you see the open interest right here, 61.97, so this could be closing, but I was kind of looking back, and it looked like basically it's been accumulating. So like, let's say on this date, so I look at this date right here, February 10th, March 26th. So that thing you get if you click in the middle, you actually see all the volumes. But you can actually then go back to the charts tab and click on, like this date is the February 10th, I think, right? You click on it and you see all the biggest trades. And the April 23rd, right? That was actually buying. Let me see. Yeah. So you see this 2300 right here and the 1600. These guys were actually buying these calls and they weren't selling them. So the fact that they're buying them today is what made me think that there's a decent chance that you know, that they were actually increasing that position. I look at the chart, it looks pretty bullish, order flow is bullish, and the volatility is pretty low, right? So it's like, it's almost like at the 50-week low. Let me actually go to a year tab. See how like low this volatility is? So maybe that's what's prompting people to buy these calls at low vol, and you can do it naked, right? So because it was such a low vol, I bought like 12 of them. I actually wanted to put in for 35 cents, but I actually clicked on the button, ended up getting filled for 40. But you know, it is what it is. So I have 12 of these that I put on, and I'll see how that goes. Now some of the trades, and it's funny, I was talking to somebody and they're like, hey Stefen, it seems like you do better if you just follow the order flow and not do your own trading. But then kind of got me to looking at all the trades I did. So this is the trade I did in Axel, where I sold the 18 put and bought the 20 calls, and that seems to be doing okay. The other one I followed was the FXI, where this person did the 1x2, right? So they bought 2 and sold 1, and basically they had a straddle. So it has to go beyond 33 or 35, and they did it for credit. And right now that looks pretty good. And the other one is RSX, where I sold the puts because it seemed bullish, and then right after all these trades came in, selling these puts, the April 22. So I've been trying to buy these back for 35 cents. So I still have a 35-cent bid in there. I'll close it if I can, and then move on from there. I also did a trade in SLV, which is a silver ETF, and the one I did here was, if you look at the stats tab, I saw somebody basically sell a bunch of these April 19 puts for 17, and then I saw somebody trade the April 18.5 puts where they bought for 16. So they weren't like a spread, but somebody actually did it independently, and it's kind of trades that I like. So I piggybacked it for a penny credit. So I got this spread for penny credit, and all I need to do really is there's like 50-cent risk if silver ETF finishes at 1850 at expiration, but if it just hangs out here, all this decay I'll collect, and I'll basically, if it finishes at $19 or higher, I will get this for free, right? So it's a trade that I like, so I put it on, and I'll see how it goes. So those are pretty much all my trading. I think what I'm gonna do going forward is I'm gonna do like an earnings report. So I'll kind of talk to you guys about earnings coming up and the order and what the order flows are saying before earnings and volatility. And then I think I might actually have another segment on order flow information. So like this Symantec is a perfect example of order flow. Maybe I'll have a segment on just the order flow and talk to you guys about that, and then everyone could kind of use that information to take the next step of doing more investigation or doing a trade. But I really, this is a pretty pretty awesome to see. So you know, like right here, you see the Ford. Somebody basically sold the April 16.5 call spread for 31 cents, right? So you can actually type in Ford. Right, so somebody just did this call spread and they sold it, and right, so they sold the 16 calls and bought the 16.5 calls on the 11th expiration, so a week from now. So yeah, they sold this and bought this, basically saying that Ford is not going to trade above 16.30, I guess, by April 11 expiration. Let's actually look at the chart. Right, so Ford actually had some good news, looks like, and then, but it's going to retrace back to the 16-17 area, is what the bet is implying on this trade. So you can actually use that to piggyback it. Maybe the person was long, and maybe they're just selling some call spread against their long position. We don't know exactly, but it's good to know that these order flows out there, and basically what I do is I just keep track of them, right? So like GDX, April 24.5 calls, right? Right, you see this block trade happening, 10,000 for 41 cents. You know, you can kind of see what the order flow has been. A lot of calls to puts. You know, I look at the chart. Maybe they're saying it's bottoming and it's going back up. Who knows? But if you trade GDX, or if you trade other gold mining stocks, it's probably something that you should keep a tab of. And so I love having this up there because it kind of just tells you what it is. Now, there are some people who use this to day trade. So they'll look at like something trading on the weeklies, and they'll try to piggyback it, you know, just for a very short-term trade. So let's say somebody did a short-term weekly, they'll see the tick chart, and if the tick chart confirms the order flow, they'll actually put on a very short-term bet, which is like could last like hours or maybe just a day or so. So it's you can use this to your advantage. I just kind of have this up all the time, and I just look for it, and then it'll give you some maybe interesting trades to look at. But for now, that pretty much wraps it up. I will be on in about 10-15 minutes to talk about the earnings report. And I'm also thinking about possibly doing like an order flow report where I kind of talk about all the large order flows that I see. That way you guys can be informed on possibly that could be the stock that you trade. But in terms of like knowing what the order flow says, you can pretty much filter it towards your watch list or to the whole market. So I could easily do this to my watch list right here, and then it'll only do all the trades on my watch list, and you can actually set it to do how many contracts and so forth, right? So you can actually set the contracts. You know, let's say you only want to see stuff that's 100 lot or more. in your issue, you can actually set it and save it, and it's a pretty awesome way of keeping track. In fact, a lot of the professionals actually use this window only. For them, it's their main window to keep track of what's actually happening in the marketplace or what's happening in the watch list that they're trading. But anyway, that's about it. I'm gonna, my biggest one right now is this Apple. I told one of my coworkers I have this weird feeling that Apple is about to go up. She laughed at me because I say that quite often. But having said that, I really think it's about to go up pretty big, like $10 at least. And I don't know why, because I've been watching this price action, I guess, for so long. Ever since I put it on back here in January, and I've been watching the tick chart, and always it's like every increase had been just a sell-off opportunity. So everyone's just been selling into any rally. But I almost feel like that momentum is changing, and I don't know why, because there's nothing specific that's actually telling me that. I'm trying to get some confirmation on the order flow. I mean, you can see the order flow is like 1.9 to 1. Usually it's about 1.2 or 1.5 to 1 since I've been looking at it. So the order flow is slightly more bullish today, but it's up $1.66, so it's not really like that's making any kind of difference in the stock. But I do feel pretty good about it. And then also I like the Google play of kind of trying to put on a call spread when you think it's at the bottom of the range. But anyway, I'll be back shortly. I hope trading is going well for you guys, and talk to you guys tomorrow. Oh, I forgot. If you guys want to try the software, go to livevol.com. Go to Livevol X, and then you can try it out. It's pretty much being used by a lot of professionals. I mean, professionals on the floor, and they're using the exact same software that you guys would be getting. It is fantastic. Yeah, it's a must-try. Even if you don't understand everything about it, it's imperative that people have the order flow information, volatility information in any kind of trading that they do, so they're more efficient at it. But other than that, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Good trading.